It feels like those characters feel incomplete unless you get the perks.
I think it's partially useless because there's no rewards behind it.
Because I'm a Sombra main, okay? It's all about Sombra.
Welcome back to Overthink, the game show where I ask contestants a series of Overwatch hot takes to see where they stand. Feel free to play along in the comments to let me know what your opinions are on these hot takes. And if you'd like to actually be on an episode, go ahead and sign up in my Discord. I host these live on my Twitch channel most Sundays, so please go follow me on there to catch a show live. And lastly, please don't forget to drop a like and subscribe for more content like this. Wuyang is overpowered.
Yeah, so statistically speaking, Wuyang is at a pretty significant advantage just when it comes to win rates and competitive. However, I think a lot of people here might have the opinion that they just don't care because Wuyang's a really fun hero, has an interesting skill curve, but oftentimes you end up using him initially and it's like, you start not winning with him initially, but oftentimes I think we overstep how Wuyang's power is just because of how difficult it is to get into him. Otherwise, really no other way of saying it. I kind of don't care that he's broken right now, but when he gets busted down or brought down to neutral, I think that's going to be, understood.
So looking past all the win rates and pick rates that Wuyang has, the amount of damage he does is pretty obnoxious for a support. And while his healing does feel reasonable for now, and he doesn't have an ult that just wins you the team fight like a Kyrie ult or a Juno ult, he just gets it so often that you just win team fights off of having it so often.
Kind of adding on to Zomboy's point, Wuyang's really overpowered, and if you look at the hero stats website, his pick rate is like through the roof. But also, I don't think he's quite overpowered, like in that sense where he's like a must pick every single game, like because I still think characters like Kyrie and Juno still can like out damage and out heal sometimes.
I think Wuyang is like perfectly balanced at this moment in like lower ranks, more to this higher skill setting. He's not super overpowered like Kiriko, but he's not so bad like Release Lifeweaver. Like, I think because I'm in lower ranks or I'm in quick play, he doesn't like do like stuff that makes you annoying. Like, he's not annoying to play against unless you are close to him. That's when he's annoying. I think his healing is not that overtuned. His attack is really like you need to learn the map geometry and like predict where your opponents will go. So like if someone doesn't play him like to his full potential, he doesn't like cause any trouble and he's not that annoying and not that overpowered or overtuned.
So I agree with what everyone said already. I just think that his damage is really good for a support. And the fact that he can do it without like looking at you, I think that's definitely a little bit overpowered. But I don't know, I like him. I don't feel he heals that much. I also think he has very weak weaknesses, whereas I could say like he's not overpowered or a must pick. But I do think that his damage, especially because you don't have to look at your opponents to like inflict it, is a little bit overtuned and they should definitely nerf it.
I want some tea, I want some drama, and I think we might get it with this one. All right, hot take number 2. Most people hitting peaks right now absolutely do not deserve it.
Right now, as of the moment, I just peaked GM5 and how amazing, like for me at least, of a goal that is to finally hit it on this season. It's also underwhelming to go through all of the 10 matches placements, and it didn't seem hard or didn't seem as challenging as I thought it was gonna be, because I had 2 losses and it immediately put me in GM5. And coming from me where I've been like stuck at Diamond and I could barely even keep Masters in the old seasons, this season just seems like it's overtuned, if that makes sense, on its placements and where to put people in. Because even if I was fighting in Masters or GM, there's still some players there that don't know good positioning or have good game sense of what they're doing in a match.
Is it your first time ever hitting GM this season?
Yes.
Do you think that if it wasn't for the quote-unquote inflation going on right now, that you'd be able to hit GM? Like, does it feel deserved to you, or does it feel a little bit boosted?
I think it'd be more deserved. I definitely just play with me and my duo, and there was hardly ever time that I felt I've been boosted. I carry my own weight. It just more feels like it's out of a sudden, you know?
The inflation that Season 18 gave us is definitely nowhere near as bad as it was in Season 3, like when plat players were hitting GM1. I wish I was exaggerating. It's still fairly bad where everybody went up like half a rank from what I've been seeing. Like, I've been around GM5 High Masters for a pretty long time now, and I'm suddenly placing GM2. I'm like, okay, I did have a pretty good placement record, so it does kind of feel like a fluke, but I'm also seeing like a lot of people who I just have avoided for a while. They're also hitting decently high elo as well, out of nowhere. So I'm like, did this happen to everybody? Did this happen to just me? And after playing for a little bit more, oh my god. But after playing for a little bit more, I found out that a lot of people actually, they went up like 2 or 3 subdivisions.
So I used my neutral pass already because I think I'm not qualified enough to like give my honest and like true opinion on it, because I'm an unranked player, I'm a quick play enjoyer. I only play quick play games, and I only have 13 like hours on competitive, and my peak was bronze 1 in season 9, and I just I don't know this game that well, and also I don't play comp that often to like give my like truest objective, like as objective as it can be opinion. So like, yeah.
So last season, I, placed gold 4, right? Been gold for a while. This season, I peaked gold 2. I feel like with the reset, there are some people that are still belonging in certain rank that aren't getting boosted to higher elos, like diamond or plat for that matter. That's just my stance. Like, I see some people in gold, it just looks like a bronze player. Like, let's say for example, you're on Bastion, you see a Genji. Are we going to shoot at the Genji and deflect? No, we're not going to, as a common person would think, but certain people will go ahead and do such a thing. And I'm thinking to myself, how do you get to gold and I'm in gold, and we at least I feel like it should be common sense. We don't shoot at the Genji deflect. Like, it's common sense, is it not?
So as someone who has been sitting at gold and kind of just trying to get in gold, I've noticed that there's maybe been a slight increase in people that I don't think belong in gold, but otherwise, no, they make gold mistakes.
Stadium is overhyped by the dev team and put too many resources into it.
Personally, don't play Stadium, so I don't feel like I have enough weight in the fight to go ahead and have a genuine opinion. That's just me.
Only thing I'd say is overhyping Stadium from the devs is just trying to push it as a mode that they want to play in esports. But other than that, I've been having a decent amount of fun with Stadium, outside of Pharah being really annoying and all my heroes in Stadium kind of sucking.
Basically, the idea here is that Stadium is taking away from the value of like 6v6 and 5v5 and, the whole regular spiel of Overwatch. But I think that is a measurement of whether or not people who are playing 5v5 and 6v6 can enjoy the game mode regardless. And I think that overwhelmingly seems true, just because it's it's a different game mode and it's a different entertainment. But honestly, it's amazing. It just still from day one feels like a fresh game mode, fresh entertaining thing.
I definitely disagree. I just think that Stadium is so good. It made me want to play more Overwatch than I was playing before. And I think it's such a unique mode that it needs this amount of dev time. It needs this amount of effort to go for it, because it's so unique, and I don't feel like they're rushing it. In fact, I feel like maybe they should cut down on some things, because they're gonna add Tracer now, and that's all well and good, but I think that we need to adjust to Pharah and Winston that were added in this season, and kind of like, give them time to like adapt to the meta and stuff. But I still think that everything they're doing with Stadium is great, and it's such a cool game mode that I had friends that never were interested in Overwatch, saw me playing a little bit of Stadium, were like, you know what, I'm gonna try Overwatch.
I don't think devs are overtuning and overhyping the Stadium, because at the end of the day, it's another game mode in Overwatch. Like, it's natural to like be constantly updating it, constantly caring about it, polishing it, and giving it the love that it deserves. Because I don't think in the Overwatch dev team any game mode is like favoritized. And like they love all their childs equally, and I don't think Stadium is that overhyped, and the devs just putting a lot of care into it because it's a new fresh game mode, it's a new experience, it's a totally like Overwatch 3, and so it requires you to like put an extra care to it. Although some modes suffer for it, deathmatch, then I don't think that it's overhyped. And to be honest, I think it should be hyped more, because it's that big new thing in Overwatch that made everyone like appreciate it again and go back to it, or I don't know, play it finally.
The individual hero SR system is meaningless.
I think it's useless because at the end of the day, like it's cool that like you climb up the ranks with this singular hero and the game shows out of your reward of playing that hero well. But as soon as a game starts and the timer match starts and you're going out with your team, it all depends on the situation that we need, right? So what if like they banned your hero? Then what? Then you have to switch to a different hero. And then what if you're not good with that hero? Like, yes, you have a high rank skill in that, but you're still stuck in like gold in that role. So for me, I think it's just a shiny badge that like no one's really gonna care for this one singular hero, more comparable with the role you are in.
So I think it's useless because, especially with Genji, most of the time they ban him. So like, a lot of times I'll have like lost streaks and then I won't be able to play Genji. So it won't change my Genji SR, but then I win one match with Genji and then suddenly I'm Diamond. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. And it doesn't give you anything for it. I mean, it's a cool thing to like look at it, but it's not balanced properly.
I think it's partially useless because there's no rewards behind it. It is just a rank for your individual heroes, but at the same time it does provide some use. Like if you're ranked Grandmaster on Mei and maybe you're only Diamond on Sojourn, maybe it'll show, hey, I need to work on my Sojourn. You can go into ranked and practice.
So I agree most with what Toga said. That's why we just have differences and somewhat agree and disagree. I think it's useful for yourself to show where you need to improve, but otherwise it's not super rewarding.
Okay, so basically the rank system functions as an aggregate of a bunch of different skills that you have specific to a role. But when it comes to an individual hero, that's probably a better measurement of how good you are at the game. There's a good example, Doomfist. Doomfist players learn Doomfist first. They don't learn tank first. And that's a really difficult skill because when Doomfist gets banned, well, that becomes a problem. But especially when it comes to playing like hit scan and damage and stuff like that, that's like a wide set of skills that you can apply to multiple different heroes. But this would have been really useful when Brig was extremely meta back in Overwatch 1, right? Well, when she came out, she was broken, and then after that, you just skyrocketed the GM, and you were so good. But then actually as a support hero, you weren't really that good, you're not really good at that whole thing. Imagine my take as more of how open role or open queue relates to individual role skills, basically.
The hero progression system encourages targeting.
Other than playing D.Va, right, I tend to play support, in which I play Mercy and Zenyatta. I feel like sometimes when I go into multiple comp matches, and let's say, for example, someone on the enemy team went ahead and saw that I was a Mercy main in the first game. And in the second game, they're like, okay, there's a chance we run into this person again. Let's just go ahead and just ban Mercy. Then it's to the point where like, okay, Mercy has to go. Where do we go from there?
I feel like it does encourage a little bit of tunneling because it's like, if you see someone that's like, 100 level soldier and you see they're not playing soldier, it's like, why do you have the character so low level if you're not gonna use it? And then you notice that they are not doing properly in the other characters, like, okay, well, just go soldier. Like, why are you using our character? And I think it's kind of lame in a way that, maybe I just want to play another character. Maybe this comp match doesn't call for that character. So I do feel like it encouraged tunneling, but I don't try to pay attention to it most of the time.
So to kind of piggyback off of that, I feel like sometimes, let's say, we're going into Zarya or Ramattra and I play D.Va and they see that I'm pretty much a D.Va main, it's just not going to call for D.Va. And if I play like Dog on, let's say, Malgo or Orisa, then they're just going to be like, oh, why did you play like Dog? Why are you queuing tank? You know what I mean?
My experience with those hero name cards in the start of the match is purely quick play based, so I don't know how it's in comp, but I don't think this system itself encourages targeting, but people are deciding what. If you decide to target the person who's 100 level Moira and she's playing BAP, then it's on you. You're the piece of crap here. And the only thing that I personally experienced with those hero progression, like at the start of the match, those squares, is one Ana just asked me, wow, you're level 19 Sombra, nice. How did you do that? So yeah, the system itself doesn't necessarily encourage targeting, but the people usually are the problem. Like, if you decide to target, then you're the stupid one.
I think in the leveling system, I think it's just a cosmetic thing. When I see someone that's like over 100 levels on a certain character, I just label them as a one-trick player. Like, they really like the character, and it's also equivalent to from the start of the game. So it's not like they just got 500 at the start of the season. Like, no, they've been already playing that character. So I'm not thinking like, oh, you're already playing that, like, why don't you get on them? Or like, oh, we should probably target that guy because he plays them. It's like, no, it's just a cosmetic thing. It's just to show like your work, your time, your effort playing the game. So, but I do understand like some people going like taking that route of saying like, oh, that guy must be really good. It's like, yeah, he could be, but at the same time, it all depends in the match. But that's just me.
So I'm a bit more charitable that people might have the initial idea that they should target someone because of skill, but the game's dynamics is a lot more complicated than it actually lends to specifically that strategy. People are going to try to do it, but I just don't think it's effective. And I don't think that the game really lends itself to that really like isolated 1v1 style of just like, we need to kill this one guy because they're bad at the character or good at the character. That's way too complicated for people. They're going to try really inconsistent things for no reason, but they'll call it a strat, and it's not really effective whatsoever.
Perks are a great addition to the game.
I think perks were a great addition because they allow you to kind of customize your play style. For example, I'm on Wuyang. If the enemy team is like running like heavy like shield characters like Winston and Ryan, I could take maybe the triple orbs, which gives you triple orbs. But if they're not, I could go the rewinding wave. And every character has their own so unique set of perks, and it just makes that every character feel even more unique than they already did with their base kit. And I think it just levels up how everyone plays.
I think perks are a good addition to the game. It makes a refresh about it. It was more fun now to think like, oh, what perk to pick in this scenario, or like what does this team need for me to be in this thing. The only thing I like that's kind of like annoying is the fact that like there are some heroes that have awful perks but slightly better ones, or they have two awful perks that ruins the character. Like, it puts you in a like tied situation where you have two options but they don't really fit the playstyle of you or the character you're playing as. Like, for example, Sombra. The community hates Sombra, and they try their best to put a lot of perks into her to change her style. Some players, like Sombra mains somewhere out there, will love the perks that she had like a while in the past, but a lot of people hated it, so then they got rid of it and they changed it. But the issue was the perk ruined the character of some certain way to play them, meaning that instead of being expressive for the player to play however they want as the role of the character, Blizzard decided to just go, oh, the community likes to play in a certain way, then we'll put those perks in that for them, even though that completely ruins it, making it more frustrating for other people and the competitive play. And then they have to do more testing, more reworks, and that's what I don't really like about it, is they can't figure out the nail to hammer it just right there or in.
So I'm kind of neutral on it. Name for a lot of the aspects, but that was coming from the somewhat agree. There's perks that are really good on certain characters, and there's characters that got really gypped, and I'm just kind of indifferent to the whole perk system. I feel like sometimes it's fun, like the whole being able to headshot with Ana, that's cool, but I could live without it being in the game. It's cool while it's here, doesn't necessarily need to be here.
I hate, especially with new characters with Freya and Wuyang, that it feels like those characters feel incomplete unless you get the perks. That happened with Freya, that happens right now with Wuyang. I just feel like this need of like adding perks that eventually would make your character feel comfortable, feel nice, is stupid and shouldn't belong in quick play. I think that's something that could maybe go in Stadium, but I just don't feel like quick play is, created for that reason. And something else that happened this season was the removal of various different perks that people love. I don't feel like we should gamble whether or not your character is gonna be fun or not, depending on what the devs want to, put in the game or remove from the game. Like, some characters got some really cool perks that now they're not available, so my character is not enjoyable because, well, I just can't use that perk because they just remove it for no reason. So I feel like that sort of thing doesn't belong in quick play.
Is there anybody that would like to change their stance after hearing others speak?
Me, Jordan, hi.
Where are you going?
On somewhat agree. Due to me being nervous, I totally forgot about Sombra's perks. And yeah, as much as I love perks and the concept of it, one of my most main issues with it is that they're not treated equally, as I would say. Because I'm a Sombra main, okay? It's all about Sombra. So yeah, Sombra's perks are good or okay at least. Meanwhile, Mei gets to kill people in cryo, or Kiriko's have more healing. So yeah, I think if Blizzard would try to consider and make all heroes' perks equal, despite the bias, because I have my own conspiracy theory about Sombra and Blizzard and Overwatch Twitter, and then the perks would go really, really well. But I think there's an imbalance, in which perks are good and super broken or super strong, and which perks are super niche and super bad. And on top of that, some perks just remove the minuses of the character. You can this character do this but can't do this, and the perks removed the can't do this. So basically it's kind of I don't know, messing with the character in per se. So yeah, if Blizzard's balances the fairness of each perk, then the perks will be great. But so far they are just good.
Subscribe to ChristalRaine.
Subscribe to ChristalRaine.
And happy 10th anniversary to Undertale!
To the 1, to the 1, to the 3. I play easy mode, and I play to win. I love to die, and I like to BRB. All systems checked out. Group up with me. 2 to the 1, to the 1, to the 3. I'm here to party. GG. A giant gorilla can keep up with me. You can't be